kissed already. Jason is mad.
I think that was when he now hugged me.
I just need to wax again and I'm not comfortable. It's not like grrr, but
But I was dancing with the mirror. I never danced with her.
okay, but I felt bad and I went to sit down. And in my sitting down, Jason came and was trying to share me a phone. Since I had this generating today, I'm just in like a different version of her. Outside this place, I know who I am outside. Yes, I'm bigger than that.
While Mide is angry at Bright Morgan for dancing with Iveta during the pool party, Bright Morgan, on the other hand, is also angry at Mide for accepting to wear Jason J's necklace. So now, according to Mide told Bright Morgan that whole necklace thing happened because of you. That while they were at the party, she saw you dancing with Iveta and she became very angry and then went to sit down. That it was at that point that Jason J now came and said, okay, please help me hold my necklace since you aren't swimming, you're not going under the water. And Jason J now went ahead to even wear her the necklace. Now, Bright Morgan is telling Mide that of all people in the house is you that he came to, that he's not comfortable with that. That you see this whole sister thing you people are doing during your birthday, he came saying that people answer the same name, live in the same place, blah blah blah, that it's none of his business, that he does not like it. That if he wants to be friend with you, he should use the word friend and not sister. That this was the same way he was referring to Joanna as his Benue sister, Bikogi sister. I don't know how Brian Morgan said it. And now, what is happening? Is he not with Joanna now? He moved from Dede to Sultana to Joanna. And what makes you feel you're not the next person? Anyways, Mide, on the other hand, now apologized to Brian Morgan, telling Brian Morgan, but I saw you dancing with Iveta. You were rocking her. But Brian Morgan said no, that with Iveta, he was dancing at the mirror when Iveta came in and started dancing. And come on now, of all people, it will now be Iveta. Mide then turned and said, hey, of all people, it will now be Jason J. What am I doing with Jason J? That is that same way. And Brian Morgan then apologized to Mide. Mide also promised that she will create a boundary between her and Jason J. So you create a boundary between you and your neighbor, somebody you're staying on the same street with. But Baba never creates boundary, never release word about the girlfriend waiting on the outside. Anyways, maybe I'm taking it too far. From there, the conversation then changed to Bright asking Mide if she ever tried to get a belly button. Was that the reason why she has a keloid on her belly? And Mide said yes. In fact, she had a belly button for 2 years before the keloid started and she had to remove that. But what I actually found funny during this year conversation was when Mide was trying to explain to Bright Morgan that there is nothing going on between her and Jason J and that nothing will even happen. And then proceeded to say, oh, I holding his necklace is nothing. Don't I hold Kola's eyeglasses? And Bright Morgan said, why Kola? Do not even bring Kola in this. You can't compare Kola and Jason J. So now I'm like, what's making Bright Morgan feel like Kola cannot go for Mide? I mean, because he knows my guy is fully and mumuli invested on Dede. I'll be waiting because he can actually decide to move towards Mide now. Since you feel Jason J can move from Dede to Sultana to Joanna and now Mide, what makes you feel like Kola cannot change his mind and want to go for Mide? Anyways, they both apologized to each other. Mide apologized and Bright also apologized from the whole Iveta thing, although he said he wasn't dancing with Iveta. Now, speaking of Iveta, while the whole house slept, Iveta and K-Bobo actually had an alone time in the garden. In fact, the conversation even went deeper than I thought. That at a point, Iveta started talking about how she needs to wax her down there. That when she was on lockdown, she actually waxed, and at some point she used the product her sister got for her and she noticed a change in color, more like a burnt. And I'll say that when they came in here, Thelma introduced herself on what she do, and I told the ladies that they should feel free to bring their VJ for waxing and all of that. And then she showed Thelma what just happened to her. Thelma gave her a product and it cleared. That now in here she wants to wax. that she's beginning to feel uncomfortable. She now moved to telling K-Bobo, didn't you notice how that area is when we were taking our shower? And I'm like, hold on, what's going on here? Well, K-Bobo said no, that he didn't notice, that he was just taking his bath. He didn't even observe that. And now asks, okay, is she going to meet Thelma or something? But Iveta said no, she's not going to meet Thelma. That she could have, though, but since after her back and forth with Mensan, her fight with Mensan, that the stand Thelma took just broke the friendship for her. That she doesn't like people that are like that. That Thelma just stood with Mensan without even asking what happened, and because of that she can't even continue that friendship. She can't even go and meet her for waxing or even the products that she gave her when they came in. Meanwhile, speaking of Thelma, before she dozed off had her last conversation with Rude Boy. So they were discussing about Sunday eviction and those they feel will be staying back and those that they feel will be going home. I think I said that, it's very difficult to actually predict who will be going home on Sunday, because imagine all the people they've evicted, people that you had hopes on, like you thought they were strong on the outside, yet they went home, that nobody knows what Nigerians want this year. But then they discussed a few housemates, starting with Coin. So Rude Boy feels that Coin is definitely going to stay to the end and maybe even win this show, being that Coin has a brand going on outside of here before he came in. Started telling Thelma that, do you know that Coin has even worked with Pepsi's competitors, the double C, that's Coca-Cola, that he's a proper commercial guy. And in here, going with what you have outside can actually sustain you in this game. But Thelma said no, that while that might sustain you, but it's not enough, because definitely new supporters will emerge, and those ones you had in mind might not even be rooting for you. They might even have another fave in here, and you'll be relying on them. And from there, they also discussed Doris. So Thelma said that she likes the new Doris she's seeing. That before, Doris was so confrontational, always angry, always ready to fight. But since Denari came into her life, she became softer. And that she likes this new Doris. And Ruba said, well, that is usually like that when all these ladies that form, they do not need the man, they are rigid, they are harsh, they are strong. When a man comes into their life, it's usually this way. Rude Boy also discussed Sunday eviction with Culture. So he said if he doesn't go home this Sunday, that is definitely to the end of this game. It means that he's going to get to the final day in this house, because Sunday eviction, that is going to be hot. And Culture as well was like, honestly, that this season has been something else, that because if someone told him that Otega will even leave before him or even leave that early, he wouldn't have ever believed it. Seeing how Otega entered that day, how he carries himself in the house, yet he left. That you don't even know what's going on the outside. Well, Rude Boy said, in here is just to do your best and leave the rest for the viewers. Well, Thelma tagged it Grace. She said that while coming into the house, that she prayed, begging God to please just do it for her, because coming in here, you cannot even be too sure. You can't be all that confident. And now, the why she said that this house requires Grace is, take a look at Zita. That if anybody had told her that both kid will leave before Zita, and this is Zita going to the 7th week, and there is a possibility they might even get to that 7th week, and Zita will win another HOH, or maybe even win most influential, or maybe even get immunity, and then she will get into 8th, 9th week. That is just grace. You can never be too sure, even rely on what you can do or what's going on the outside. Speaking of Zita, Big Soso told Imisi that she has never talked or gossiped Zita. And because of that, she's not going to give Zita relevance. That outside of here, she knows people she talks to. She knows the caliber of people she relates with. But in here, Zita, who is Zita, coming to shout at her for talking about her. And Imisi now told Big Soso that even if you gossiped or talked about her, and so are you not allowed to do so? For Big Soso to still be talking about this by this time shows they are yet to get over the whole unleashing Zita did on her Sultana and Doris. Meanwhile, speaking of Sultana and Doris, Sultana told Doris that Jessie J is angry that she lifted culture. That this is the same Jessie J that spent all the night dancing with Joanna. And even after the party, that Denari mentioned that Jessie J and Joanna kissed in the loo. Well, Sultana, after saying she doesn't give a damn on how Jessie J feels, still went to Shalaye at 3:37 a.m. Nigerian time, asking Jessie, "Oh, why are you angry at me? See what happened. Culture asked me for crayfish. I refused. He was angry. But then at the arena when we were having that task, we decided to reconcile. And he said, 'Can you lift me up, and all of that.'" And Jason J said, well, she actually asked Jason J, "Is that why you're angry?" But Jason J said, "No, that's not why I'm angry. It's actually how he was holding you, how he was holding you from the back, grabbed you." I'm like, wait. So then I was still there listening, trying to even explain more. I'm like, at this point, I don't even know Sultana again. This is you telling your friend, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. Your friend then dozed off, and you moved like Nicodemus to go and be shalaying. Can you believe that Sultana actually apologized to Jessie J for culture hugging her, telling Jessie J that maybe she didn't pay attention to that side of how he hugged her. And after the apology, what happened? Jessie J just hummed and walked out. Like, come on. Like, the whole explanation, I was like, what's going on here? What did Jessie J put in his stew? Like, what was giving these guys audacity? It's the ladies. It's these girls. Can you imagine? In fact, at a point, she started explaining again that Culture wanted crayfish for Tracy, and when she said she didn't have one, Culture couldn't believe it. They were now having their Culture was now angry at her at the arena. They now reconciled. Like, why are you explaining? This is the same you that told Doris you do not care that this guy was with Joanna. That Denari said that the both of them almost kissed. In fact, that they kissed. And here you are again doing what? My dears, that's it. It's a wrap here on our after pool party drama highlights. Hope you do well to watch my other videos. If you're just watching this one, get to watch the other two to find out all that happened after the pool party, okay? And I'll be glad to read your comments. Please, if you enjoyed watching, do well to like, subscribe, comment, and share, okay? Please do well to share my video. Help me and grow my channel. I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Okay. I don't get upset about it. Okay, so let's make it right. Stop using sister.
Hell, I just felt like, oh, you just hooked me as far as trying to apologize.